Wow. Well,
Where do we begin?
yeah.
No,
Okay.
go.
I think for me, personally, having started out as an extra and dreaming about having a speaking role and then getting a speaking role and then going to the life I've had in front of a camera, my love of cameras, and what they mean, and magic and cinema and La Belle et la Bête, or the Red Shoes, or if we're thinking about the history of cinema, films that Lawrence of Arabia, films that are extraordinarily remembered for all time. I just feel so honoured and overwhelmed and pinch me forever that I'm in a Christopher Nolan film with this incredible cast, but also playing Cersei. That I got that honour. So that's how I feel. This with this camera, this experience, this. It's like as a little kid watching the telly and you see Elizabeth Taylor on that throne, because they're making Cleopatra and they talk about how many extras and you're like, oh, they don't make movies like that anymore. And then,
Cut to.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah. So that's how I feel.
Yeah. I second everything that you're saying. It's such an honor and a privilege, and I feel like on sets like this, on every set there's so much to learn, but specifically one like this, there's so much to absorb and take with you, and to learn. Like there's talk about wisdom, I gained, I think, so much wisdom just by being on a set like this and watching people work, asking questions, and just I don't know, there was a day that they were shooting and I was off, and I just was like, is it okay if I just kind of tag along, because in what world would I be able to just observe a Christopher Nolan set? Are you kidding? I remember there, I got to be on the boat with everyone, and I was like, I'll stay here all day. I don't even, this is an absolute dream, just as someone who's a fan and really loves doing this stuff. It was really, really special. It's interesting because when, we just had an interview with Chris Nolan, and he said he wanted people to be entertained. And, there is so much here emotionally that I think different audience will take with them and hopefully feel moved and connected to. But also so much of what we do is to entertain, and to allow people to, escape reality for however many hours and fully immerse yourself in this case, a piece of literature from, thousands of years ago, that has been brought to you by way of, Christopher Nolan. So it's I think that's also part of it too, to just be fully lost in this and enjoy that time. And yeah.
I hope they feel like a kid again if they're an older person. That experience of seeing something that changes your life, that makes you fall in love with the movies. If they're older, and if they're younger, I hope, I know it will change their life forever.
We've talked a lot about this in our kind of previous interviews, and I think it's this all the very human mistakes are still very much a part of these characters, and we still seem to get the same things wrong, and it doesn't seem like we're doing any better, we don't ever really learn that lesson. Odysseus is on this journey of having to reckon with this idea of Zeus's law. That's something that, we as human beings tend to just lose sight of. And I don't know, I think as long as we keep making the same mistakes, keep failing the tests, if you will, this will kind of always be relevant, unfortunately, fortunately, I don't know, but we are human. Unfortunately,
I mean, we were talking about Interstellar and time, and you talk about, the origins of this story and how it's ancient, and how history repeats itself, things change but they stay the same. But ultimately what I feel is that there is often when you go to the cinema or you watch something, I don't know, there seems to be a lack of hope sometimes in music, in literature, because people are really like, this is my feat, I want people to learn about the experience I've just had. We're living in a time of the I. We're living in the time of me. Certainly it's very hard for young people to escape that. This movie, for me, is about hope and love, but also the coming together and trust, in that way of, for me, humanity. And so long as we're always looking inside and not looking to our brothers and sisters to come together, we're going to be in trouble. So I think that's how I'm experiencing that.
Yeah.